there's only one thing that can happen. XRP can go up in price. The higher XRP is, the more liquidity that you have in the system. Imagine in this example right here that we've been watching, there's 10 XRP sitting as this bridge liquidity, and say XRP is $1. Well, you have about $10 worth of liquidity. But if you have a drastically higher price XRP for those 10 XRP being the bridge liquidity for the XRP ledger network, then you have vastly more liquidity. Now, if you take a look at what Ripple's doing, especially on the RLUSD side, and I think this is where people get confused, they say, oh, well, Ripple just looks to only be using RLUSD. But guys, they're missing the bigger picture. What Ripple is really trying to do, because this is what makes XRP the global, the world reserve liquidity asset, is create a path from traditional financial institutions, right? The JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, the Citibanks, the HSBCs, to the XRP ledger. What Ripple wants to do is attract these financial institutions or wrap their tentacles around these financial institutions with the products they are already using / need to use. Things like custody, things like prime brokerage, things like treasury, things like cross-border payments, right? These very traditional style focused products. Ripple knows that they can build software to get in the door of these financial institutions. And by doing that, Ripple wins the platform, right? Ripple wins the app that you log into. In the same exact way, Apple controls your data, right? By creating the iPhone, Ripple is controlling these financial institutions' value by creating these front-end applications. What Ripple knows is the front-end application is only a piece of creating the bigger picture. Ripple ultimately wants to create these front-end applications so they control the value flows for these banks. And Ripple knows if they can get their tentacles around that, it all comes back to the XRP ledger. Ripple is not forcing these institutions to adopt XRP and use XRP. No, what Ripple wants is for Citibank, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Ripple wants them to tokenize their assets through Ripple's products and by default landing those assets on the XRP ledger. Because if Ripple can become the tokenization partner for these financial institutions, then what Ripple has done is gotten them into the XRP ledger mousetrap. And now whenever these financial institutions want to transact or interact with value, it is on the XRP ledger, and right there, XRP is the default liquidity asset